I'm D Murph. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and today we are going to review the DeWalt XR impact driver. So guys, my purpose in this video is to help you decide whether or not you need to purchase this tool. This is something for you. We're going to go over all kinds of great details and get into what this drill can do for you. So this is the DeWalt impact driver DCF887 if you're looking for a product number. And it's an amazing tool. It has all kinds of awesome features. I think you'll really like this if you need a little bit of a higher torque for your jobs. I mainly use mine for automotive work, but it also does come in handy around the house. So what are some of the features that make this tool so awesome? One thing that I really like about the DeWalt XR impact driver is its speed settings. It has, as you can see right here, 3 different speed settings for different jobs. The first is 20 foot-pounds of torque. The second is 125 foot-pounds of torque. And the third is 152 foot-pounds of torque. And they even have a nice little screw to show you what each job does. But basically in the first setting, that's a nice setting for bolts that, you know, small bolts on the car, screws and whatnot around the house. That'll take them off without any damage being done. The second, 125, that's more for getting into the mid-level of jobs. Your mid-level jobs run from about 50 foot-pounds of torque to 100 to 150 foot-pounds of torque. So this can knock off a lot of bolts that your standard normal drills can't. And that's what I really like about it. I've always had to use manual power to break off bolts, and now this will take them right off, no problem. And then 3 is 150 foot-pounds of torque, and that is amazing. That is the high range of medium level jobs, and maybe even getting into high level jobs with really heavy torques. So that'll bust out 150 foot-pounds of torque bolts, which is absolutely amazing. Next, you have, as you can see, this light. It's illuminating my work area. So whenever you're working in the dark or, you know, in your car in dark areas, this is awesome because you can see what you're doing. That was a feature I really loved. It has 3 LED lights. The trigger, which is it's a variable speed sensing trigger. So it'll start out slow and you can increase the speed. So not only do you have your speed settings down here, you can also use your speed settings through the trigger. The grip is really nice. It has some rubber on along the back. It feels really good in the hand. You know, some drills have been designed not really with your grip in mind, but this definitely takes into consideration as far as the form goes and the texture and the material used. And additionally, something I want to say, what really sets this drill apart is that it has a sensor to detect what kind of pressure is being put on by the drill. So whenever it's getting close to tightening down a bolt, it'll start slowing down so that you have a lower chance of stripping or breaking bolts. An awesome, awesome, awesome feature. And then for all of us home mechanics, I have the let's get this off here. I have the 2AH battery, and I haven't had to recharge this thing once since I bought the tool several months ago. You can see on the back, another nice feature with these batteries is it'll show you how charged it is. This one is fully charged. I have another battery that I brought down, and it's only lost 1 bar from all the work that I've done with it. So the XR brushless tools, you know, they have this marking right here to show you what it is. Those really last. I definitely recommend buying those. You may even only need 1 battery. I have 2, and I haven't even had the use for 2. If you're working in the work field or something like that, you may definitely need some extra batteries if this thing's running all day long. But for me, I'm a weekend warrior sometimes on the weekdays, and these batteries have me covered. Now, whenever you're adding in, say a socket or something like that, like this is my adapter socket, one awesome thing is you can just Now when you're adding in your adapters to do work around the house, you know, automotive work and whatnot, one awesome thing is they just go right in and then it grips. So it's really easy to put them in. Sometimes with other products you have to loosen the bit before you can put it in, but this one, you know, it's just insert, put in, plug and go. I love that. And you just pull out and you can remove. Very easy, very user friendly, all kinds of wonderful features to help you dominate in your projects and tasks at home. So now there are two things that I found with this drill that are disadvantages, you know, and they go somewhat along with the engineering. So for your reverse and forward trigger on the side here, this is a little loose. I haven't had any big issues with it, but I've seen other people say sometimes on the job it'll accidentally bump and go into a different direction. So that's something to keep in mind, your mind on whenever you buy this drill. And then the chuck right here, it can be a little wobbly. I'll see if we can get it on in the video. But you get a little bit of a wobble with the chuck. So that's something to keep in mind too. It hasn't really impacted my work or anything like that. I usually just push the drill right up against the bolt and pop it out or push it in. So a wobbly chuck, not a big deal, but something to keep in mind. It has a little bit of play, but not much. Not really enough, in my opinion, to make the tool not worth it. And then something to keep in mind when you're working on cars is the size. It is a small drill. That's wonderful. It can fit into tight spaces, but it is a little bit large for working on cars. There are a few other better alternatives as far as the size of the head goes, but this has the power hands down. This has the power to break off your regular bolts, your small bolts, and then it even has the power to break off lug nuts. And I'll have an example of that soon later in this video. Alright guys, now it's time for the really exciting stuff, the charger. I want to show you guys what the charger is like that comes with this drill. The plug is a two-prong plug, plugs into basically anything. And the charger has 3 different indicators on here. So you have your pack charging flashing light with when this light flashes. Then you have your pack charge, it's going to be a steady light. And then you have a hot or cold delay, which is really nice. It won't charge it if the battery is too hot or too cold. Pretty small charger. This is actually very easy to move around, doesn't take up too much space. And you just plug the battery in like that. So I'm going to plug in the charger really quick so you guys can see what charging looks like. There it goes, it's charging. Whatever little that does need to be charged in that battery because I had the 3 full bars. But yeah, so really easy, small, portable, has a nice indicator. Woo, the exciting charger. Now let's get to the really exciting work of showing you guys some of the jobs. So for the at-home projects, I'm going to show you the impact driver taking out some of the smaller screws and seeing how it handles on the first setting. I don't have any of the cool impact driver bit sets or anything like that, so I'm just using a regular Phillips head screwdriver bit, but this will do the trick. So let me show you guys how this drill handles removing some screws. So we got it set in reverse. We'll turn on the light, there you go. Great view, right? So I just push the bit in. Very easily removes the screws, no problem whatsoever. See, now we have it loose and it's off in no time. So we'll put them back on. You just want to be careful, you know, so you don't strip anything. That's where that trigger comes in handy, that it can sense the different speeds. And then so I'll show you the sensor too, it'll start slowing down. You see that? That's an awesome feature that I love about this drill, is that it will slow down when it notices that your jobs are coming to an end and there's resistance on that range of torque. Alright guys, now this is what I mainly use my drill for. Now it's time for the automotive test. And so I have my driver with the 13mm bolt put on there. Switch it over to 2. Normally I use the middle section when I'm doing some work on the car. But for example, to take off the air filter in my car, you have to remove this bar. And so every time I wanted to access the air filter and take a look at it, I would have to get out my 13mm sockets and go at it with my hand. And it's the same for the battery and a few other parts. But with the drill, you just put it on there, really quickly bust that bolt off. Let's see if we can take it off with the first setting. Even the 20 foot-pounds of torque setting is good. So then it takes it off so quick, so easy. Bam, you have the bar off, it's good. Now you can take these off and get to your air filter. Saves you quite a bit of time. Then there's some other parts on the front. These are 10mm bolts to take off the front grille and whatnot. And quite simply, just put it on. breaks it loose, and there you have it. Your bolt's off, and you can move right into the work. So very, very helpful whenever you're taking off parts, especially in the easy to access areas. Again, this is a little bit restrictive as far as size goes. There's some areas you really can't get your drill into to take off bolts and whatnot. But you know, there's one here on the air intake. This thing takes forever as far as time goes, but it breaks it loose and pulls it right out. And so you can save so much time when you're doing your work. So let's put some of these back in, and I can show you guys that sensor kicking in a little bit. See, there it goes. It doesn't over tighten. That's fantastic, because you don't want any broken head bolts or anything like that. That sucks. And this will save you so much time. It has made changing my oil a breeze. It's made doing so many other things a breeze. And that's what I'm all about, efficiency. I love saving time. Here we go, check this out. And that's on the first setting, so it'll slow down and then pop it a few times as it tightens. Second setting, it goes right into that. So you want to keep that power in mind. And it's tight, it's so tight that I can't even move this. I have to loosen it before I can move that around. So, and you know, that's not even all its power, so it can do quite a few things. And now the big question is, can this drill take off your lug nuts? Let's check it out. It's time for the all-important lug nut test. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what the DeWalt impact driver can do to these lug nuts on setting number 3. These lug nuts have all been tightened to 115 foot-pounds, and we're going to see how long it takes to take them off on setting number 3. Here we go. Well, there you have it. Not long at all. That's took just a few seconds to knock that right off. We'll do one more. So as you can see, guys, the impact driver has the power that you need to do your light jobs, your medium jobs, and even getting into a few heavy jobs. Let's put these back on. So next, let's get inside the car and see how the drill handle is taking off some trim panels. For our last demo for our automotive side, we're going to take off some trim panel screws. So these trim panels usually protect a lot of important components inside your car. They can be really time consuming because they have tons of these small screws. These are 7mm screws. I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to take these off. So we have it set to the first setting, 20 foot-pounds of torque. And we're going to be a little gentle on that trigger. And voila, right out. So putting it back in. Just going gently, be careful with that trigger. That sensor will tell you when it's tightening. And that's pretty good. You don't want to over tighten these because you can crack the plastic pretty easily. But as you can see, this drill has the light to make these jobs easy. You can go into all kinds of different areas. And it's gentle enough to do small projects and powerful enough to do the big projects. Well guys, I hope that video helped you in deciding what kind of tool you want to buy, what product you're looking for. The DeWalt XR impact driver is an awesome tool. I definitely recommend checking it out, using it. Now as far as pricing goes, they're a little bit on the more expensive side, ranging from like $130 to $150 for the tool itself to $200+ for the kits. So what you can do, there's a few options available if you're looking for a low cost, you're only going to use it on the weekends. You can buy a used kit, what I did, for less than half the original price. You take a little bit of a risk in seeing how the previous owner used it, if it'll still run good for you. I got mine off of Amazon and it works just great. I showed you guys, it can do everything. And then you can also piece together something. If you're a weekend warrior, you only need one battery, you can buy a driver and then a battery and charger separately and probably save a little money. Now, if you're a full-time contractor, you're someone who's going to need to use this drill every day of the week, you might want to buy the batteries that are larger than 2 AH. That's been good for me. And then you also might need several batteries and a charger definitely to go along with that. So look around, shop around. There's all kinds of great deals out there. This drill is a great addition to your tool set and will save you tons of time. I'm going to put a link down below to a drill on Amazon.com. We're going to have the regular drill and then the kit. So you can go down there, check out pricing and whatnot. Thanks again so much for watching this video. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more great automotive and tool videos. Also do some food and other tasty things. And guys, thanks again so much. Appreciate you watching this and have a great day.